What's up? What's up? What's up, guys? It's me again, LaShawn Bridges. I hope all you women out there who have children have had a blessed Mother's Day weekend. And for those of you who have spent time, also male and female, with your mothers, I hope you guys enjoyed their Mother's Day weekend just like I did. Okay, this week we're back to business talking about politics, and today's video is on my presidential candidate of choice, Andrew Yang, versus presidential candidate Cory Booker, both on the Democratic side. Okay, according to CNN.com, back in February is when Cory Booker first launched his campaign. Booker chose this month because of, relating to Black heritage. And Booker is running for a Democratic presidential candidate. He's 50 years old, and he's the first African-American U.S. Senator from Jersey. He was previously the 36th mayor of Newark for 7 years from 2006 to 2013. His background is included in education and from Yale Law School, where he has a doctorate degree. He also has a BA in political science at Stanford University and an MA in sociology. So he has plenty of education. And according to Headline.com, when he was mayor, he sponsored and voted for the Employment Non-Discrimination Act in 2013. He is also a popular senator who was in support for more stringent action sanctions against Iran. Also, he became the first incumbent senator to testify against a comrade during Attorney General nominee Jeff Sessions' confirmation hearing, according to Headline.com. So that's a little bit background about Cory. According to WashingtonPost.com, Cory Booker policy includes the support for $15 minimum wage, which guaranteed a lot of people jobs. I think that's a great plan too, Cory, for people who are struggling with a 7,000 to 8,000 hour job or less and 15 hours an hour and barely able to survive. So I think that, yes, the minimum wage does need to go up, because today's economy is too many people that are barely making it, barely getting by, and a lot of people can't even pay their rent nowadays off of $7 an hour, $8 an hour. It's just like too less money. We need more money. So I do agree with that. But Cory Booker, just like other presidential candidates, you have not followed Andrew Yang's policies. Of course, you probably haven't really recognized what he's talking about in his discussions about automation. Because the 15-hour minimum wage, just like Cory has, said, and also Bernie Sanders supports 15-hour minimum wage increase. It sounds good, but they're not thinking about the automation of jobs that will be taken over. We live in a world full of technology, and as technology expands, a lot of these jobs, truck driver jobs, clerical jobs, a lot of different jobs will be automated away. And Andrew Yang explains that in a lot of his videos on how a lot of candidates are not really thinking about the fact that years from now, truck driver jobs, for example, will be a thing of the past, because trucks will be driving themselves. They're already making vehicles that are already driving themselves as it is. So a lot of candidates are not really thinking about that this automation will be a serious thing on people, because a lot of people will be without jobs, and robots also will be taking a place in warehouses. And Andrew Yang also has videos that shows that how robots will be taking over. So view his site on yang2020.com, and you will see a lot of his videos where he talks about automation. So that's something that Cory Booker needs to understand, that it would not be beneficial to have a 15-hour an hour job if you don't have a job at all, because of automation taking over these jobs. And that's why I feel that Andrew Yang's plan of universal basic income, if he becomes president, which I hope he does, that would be a great plan, better than the 15-hour minimum wage increase, because everybody will get $1,000 a month, will be able to survive off of that. And if you are making less than 15 hours an hour, you will definitely be able to survive with an extra $1,000 a month. So back to Cory Booker. He feels, unacceptable that Americans should be, have full jobs and not live in poverty. That living in poverty is definitely unacceptable. He also sets back a pilot program which will provide grants to local governments and to guarantee everyone a job, minimum wage, and wants to create a savings account for every child until they grow as much as $46,000 by the time they are 18 years of age or older. I think that's a great plan. I mean, you know, it's always good to put back money, and that will help people to be able to have money in place for when their child becomes older and want to go to college and cannot afford college tuition. So I think that $46,000 plan is great, but he's not thinking about the plan for the adults that are taking care of these children until they turn 18 years of age or older. So that's, you know, that sounds good for children, you know. According to Headline.com, when he was mayor, he sponsored and voted for the Employment Non-Discrimination Act in 2013. He also was popular as a senator who was in support for more stringent action sanctions against Iran. And also he became the first incumbent senator to testify against a comrade during Attorney General nominee Jeff Sessions' confirmation hearing, according to Headline.com. So that's a little information about Cory Booker. Cory also supports legislation to require a background check for all gun purchases and produce legislation to ban high-capacity magazines and assault rifles. Booker supports Medicare for All and co-sponsored Medicare for All legislation introduced by Senator Bernie Sanders. The government-run plan would be IVT phased in over 4 years and in the private insurance markets. It would be paid for by a tax on employers and increased taxes on capital gains and on incomes exceeding $250,000. Booker has also joined Bernie Sanders to sponsor a series of bills to lower the cost of prescription drugs um, by trying prices to other countries. And he opposes a lot of President Donald Trump's policies. Okay, Andrew Yang does as well. You know, he also supports controlling prescription drugs, just like Cory Booker. So that's a good thing. And according to Yang2020.com, Andrew Yang's Medicare for All policy will include doctors being paid a flat rate salary instead of a price for service module, unlike Cory Booker's plan. You know, Cory Booker has a definitely good plan of the $250,000. I mean, that's not for the health care, but his plan will include businesses or you know, the many businesses are making $250,000 or more. His plan will include to tackle those kind of businesses taxes, so that way that they can support the health care, which sounds good, you know, but at the same time, what I'm looking at is the fact that Cory Booker's plan is, you know, it's just only for gaining the capital gains for businesses $250,000 or more. What about the businesses that are less than $250,000? You know, Cory, I mean, what are you going to do about that as far as, you know, you're going to tax businesses that are less than $250,000? Or are you just going after businesses that are gaining $250,000 or more a year? You know, and so I think he needs to think a little bit more on a better plan, because Andrew Yang's plan sounds a little bit better. He wants to include doctors being paid a flat rate salary instead of a price for service module. And I think that is a great plan, because that way doctors can be more, you know, visible, and the costs can be more visible as far as in under control, you know, and the redundant tests, a minimum of physicians turnover can be lower. So I think that would be a great plan that Andrew Yang is trying to, you know, versus Cory Booker's plan. Doctors will become more involved with their patients too if they're getting paid salary. And I think that would be great for, even prescriptions will probably be lesser as far as in when you go buy prescriptions. Right now, it's like everything in private owned um, companies are just expensive. You go to the doctor and you get checked out, and you know, it's just really huge prices. You get billed and your insurance only covers so much. So I think that Andrew Yang's plan, you know, and policy for Medicare for All, and having it be controlled more, and having the doctors be salary and the government paying for health care, would be an excellent plan versus Cory Booker's plan. So also, moving along, trying to hurry up here. I have so much information. According to Politico.com, Cory Booker stated he would take incremental steps to overhaul the American healthcare system rather than push through Medicare for All if he becomes president. In an interview on CNN, he then stated, "We're not going to pull health insurance from 150 million Americans who have private insurances that like their insurance. Sounds like he's trying to keep some of the private insurance companies going when I, heard about this, Corey. One minute you're saying that you are for Medicare for all, which is sounded like he was for the government taking over healthcare so that way healthcare can be provided for all American citizens. But then when I read about his quote about he doesn't want, you know, to get rid of a lot of the private health cares and some people should keep their health care insurance policies, it sounds like he's trying to keep a lot of the private healthcare insurances that are out there, which is not good, Corey. So I think he's sort of like going back on his word. It sounds like to me, what he's doing. What are you doing, Corey? So, but moving along, Cory Booker, um, well, he's saying two different things. He's saying he supports Medicare for all one minute, and then the next minute he's going back on his word, it sounds like to me. So on the next video, that's enough for now about Cory Booker, but I'm going to continue to discuss the candidates in the next upcoming videos. And I want to discuss, that the leading candidates so far I know has higher advantages, which is Biden, Sanders, Warren, and Harris are some of the top 4 candidates, according to Morning Consults. And the polls are looking good. And presidential candidate Andrew Yang, he's been seen in Twitter and Reddit and Facebook, and he's been just climbing the charts online. I mean, he's all over the place. Andrew Yang, I'm reading about him on CNN.com. I'm reading about him on Facebook. I'm reading about him on Twitter. I mean, he's just tackling online media like crazy. So I'm loving it. I'm watching his videos and following him. So I think, he's going to climb the charts. And eventually, the more we hear his videos and the more we hear his name, I really do believe that he has a higher chance of winning for president. And I hope he does, because his universal basic income plan, I have not, you guys, heard anybody, not Cory or anybody, stating a better plan than Andrew Yang's universal basic income plan of $1,000 a month to every citizen. I have not heard anybody with a better plan. So I'm just, really proud to know that Andrew Yang is, climbing the charts on social media and he's getting his name out there. So that's a good thing. In my next video, upcoming videos, I will definitely discuss with you guys and keep you informed on the Democratic presidential campaigns and how the polls are doing. I'm going to really get into detail about the polls of the top presidential candidates and just talk to you guys about how they're doing on the campaigns, and just continue to watch me as I watch and inform myself and inform you guys on things and share with you guys on what I found out about the uprunning presidents for the year 2020 and their polls and how they're doing in their polls. Okay. All right. Thank you for watching this video. Please continue to subscribe to LaShawn Bridges, and you can reach me on Twitter, on Instagram, and on Facebook. Subscribe, and like my videos up under LaShawn Bridges. Thank you. Goodbye.